At my niece's christening, my mother raised her glass with a sweet smile and declared, "Thank God this baby has a real father." Then she turned, looked straight at my 12-year-old son Owen and sneered. "Not like that filthy little bastard you brought into this world, Tegan. Some children are born from nothing but shame and regret." The room went silent. A few guests let out nervous, uncomfortable laughs, the kind people make when they witness something shocking and don't know how to react. I stayed silent, the way I had for 12 long years. But Owen stood up, walked straight to her, and grabbed the old locket from her neck. The tarnished chain snapped easily. He held it high. "Then why?" he asked, his voice shaking with rage. "Have you been keeping my real father's photo hidden in here?" The uncomfortable laughter stopped dead. My mother's face turned ghostly white. What she didn't know was that Owen had already found him. What none of them knew was what I would soon discover in the hospital records, proof of what she had done when my son was 4 years old and fighting for his life. That was the moment their lies began to burn, and my son started to take back everything they stole from him. My name is Tegan Parkinson. I am 34 years old. Welcome back to Revenger Episodes. This channel shares stories of quiet strength, women who faced betrayal, set boundaries, and walked away on their own terms. If this is your first time here, drop a comment and be sure to subscribe. But before I tell you what happened at that christening, you need to understand the life Owen and I had been living. The one my family had built for us. The one held together by pills, lies, and 12 years of silence. Owen's morning started the same way it had for the past 8 years. 6:30 a.m. The pill organizer sat on the kitchen counter, labeled, "Owen, week of April 1st to 7th, 2026. 4 pills in the morning, 3 at night. Every single day. Prednisone, tacrolimus, mycophenolate." I watched him swallow them with orange juice, his hands showing the faint red rash that never quite went away. The GVHD, graft versus host disease, had marked his skin permanently. Dry, tight patches on his hands and arms, the kind of scars you don't get from falling off a bike. "Does it hurt today?" I asked. Owen shrugged. He was 12, but he had the resignation of someone much older. "It always hurts, Mom. I'm just used to it." I didn't have an answer for that. I never did. The prescription bottles sat in a row behind the pill organizer. Each one had a price sticker from the pharmacy. $520, $380, $2,100 for the tacrolimus alone. That was after insurance. Every month, those 3 bottles cost us $3,200. Every month for 8 years. I worked as a medical billing coordinator at Raleigh Cardiology Associates. The irony wasn't lost on me. I processed insurance claims all day, fighting with companies to cover procedures and medications. But I couldn't fight my way out of Owen's medical debt. The stack of bills from Duke University Health System sat in my desk drawer at work. $89,420 outstanding. And that was just what we still owed. Over the past 8 years, the total had been close to $900,000. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. "Don't forget the christening Sunday, 2 p.m. St. Margaret's. Rachel expects the whole family." I stared at the message. Owen looked over my shoulder and saw it. "I don't want to go," he said flatly. "Every family gathering, Grandma finds a way to remind everyone I don't have a dad. Why would a christening be different?" "Because it's your cousin's baby. We have to—" "No, Mom. You want to go because you're scared of Grandma. I'm going because I have to. But I'm done pretending it doesn't hurt." He grabbed his backpack and headed for the door. The school bus would be there in 5 minutes. Before he left, he turned back. "Why do I have to take these pills forever when other kids don't?" I didn't have an answer for that either. The truth was, I'd stopped asking those questions years ago. I'd stopped asking a lot of things. It was easier to follow the routine. Wake up. Pills. Work. Bills. Doctor appointments every 3 months at Duke. Smile. Nod. Stay quiet. Don't make waves. That was the deal I'd made with my family. They helped with Owen's medical costs. Or so they said. And I didn't ask too many questions. I didn't push back. I didn't fight. My mother had been making that deal for me since Owen was born. Since before he was born, actually. It started in June of 2012. I was 21 years old. The Raleigh Music Festival at Red Hat Amphitheater. I'd gone with friends, wearing a yellow sundress with white flowers. It was 85 degrees, and I'd made the mistake of wearing heels to an outdoor concert. That's when I met Connor Sheffield. He was working the medical tent as an EMT trainee. 23 years old. Dark hair, kind eyes, the kind of smile that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. "You okay?" he asked when I stumbled on the grass near the first aid station. "Fine," I said, "just not used to heels at outdoor concerts." He smiled. "I'm Connor, and honestly, nobody should wear heels to a music festival." I gave him my number. My mother wouldn't have approved. An EMT trainee wasn't exactly the kind of man she envisioned for her daughter. But I didn't care. For 9 months, Connor and I dated in secret. Cheap dates, food trucks, pull-in park, Durham Bulls baseball games, his old Toyota Corolla, his studio apartment in Garner that cost $650 a month. He asked me once why he couldn't meet my parents. "You're ashamed of me?" he said. "No," I told him. "I'm protecting you. They have expectations." "What kind of expectations?" I didn't answer. In March of 2013, Connor got a job offer. Seattle Fire Department. His dream job. It meant leaving in 2 weeks. "I'll call every day," he said at RDU Airport on March 15th. "We'll make this work." I nodded, but part of me didn't believe it. Part of me had already started to let go, the way I'd been taught to let go of things my family didn't approve of. In April, I missed my period. I took a pregnancy test at CVS. Positive. I tried calling Connor 8 times. Straight to voicemail. Then, on April 18th at 11:03 p.m., I got a text from an unknown number. "This is Connor's friend. He asked me to tell you he's moved on. He's seeing someone here in Seattle. Don't contact him again. He'll block your number if you keep calling." I threw my phone across the room. I cried for 2 hours. Then my mother knocked on the door. "We need to talk about what you're going to do." She'd found the pregnancy test wrapper in the bathroom trash. I was 6 weeks pregnant. "Who is the father?" she demanded. I couldn't lie. "Connor Sheffield. He's an EMT. He just moved to Seattle." Her face hardened. "An EMT? A glorified ambulance driver? Absolutely not." "Mom, You will not ruin your life for some boy with no future. I'll handle this." And she did. Years later, I would piece together what she'd done. She'd gone through my phone bill. She was the account holder, so she had access. She found Connor's new Seattle number. She hired someone to call him. A woman's voice, claiming to be my friend, telling Connor I'd had an abortion and wanted him to stop calling. Connor believed it. He stopped trying to reach me. My mother changed my phone number. She made me deactivate my Facebook account. She monitored my email. She controlled every prenatal appointment at WakeMed Hospital. "You're going to keep this baby," she told me, "but you're going to do it my way. No contact with that boy. No social media posts. You'll stay here, finish your pregnancy quietly, and we'll tell people you were seeing someone casually who left town." I was 22 years old, pregnant, alone, scared. I didn't have the strength to fight her. On August 18th, 2013, Owen was born. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Healthy. Perfect. The hospital clerk asked what to put for the father's name on the birth certificate. My mother answered before I could. "Unknown. The father isn't in the picture." I looked at my newborn son and said nothing. 2 days later, as we left the hospital, my mother whispered to me, "You'll thank me one day. That boy would have ruined your life. Now you have a clean slate, just you and your son." I believed her. For years I believed her. Owen started asking about his father when he was 4 years old. It was June 2017. Father's Day. His preschool had done a craft project, a popsicle stick picture frame decorated with marker and glitter. "Why don't I have a dad?" he asked, holding the empty frame. I froze. "You do have a dad, honey. He just isn't here." "Why?" "Because he chose not to be." The lie burned my throat, but I'd said it so many times I almost believed it myself. My mother was standing in the doorway. She smiled. "Some men aren't capable of being fathers," she said to Owen. "You're better off." Owen accepted this. He was 4. What else could he do? But the comments didn't stop. At family gatherings, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, my relatives made sure Owen knew he was different. At Thanksgiving 2016, my Uncle Phil asked loudly, "So Tegan, you ever planning to give Owen a real family? Kid needs a father figure." My mother smiled tightly. "Tegan made her choices. We're supporting her despite them." I said nothing. I never did. Owen learned to say, "I don't need a dad," as a defense mechanism. But I saw the way he looked at other kids with their fathers. I saw the way he drew pictures at school of just the 2 of us. Never 3. And I couldn't afford to leave. My mother offered to watch Owen after school while I worked. It saved me $800 a month in daycare. I couldn't say no. So Owen spent 4 or 5 days a week at her house, absorbing her narrative about his father, about himself. The trap closed a little tighter every month. By December 2017, Owen had spent the first 4 years of his life believing he was unwanted. A mistake. Born from shame. And then everything changed. Owen had been tired for weeks. November and early December, he'd come home from preschool and fall asleep by 6 p.m. He had bruises on his legs and arms that didn't heal. Petechiae, I would learn later. Tiny red spots under the skin. On December 10th, he developed a fever. 101, then 102. It wouldn't break. "He's just run down," my mother said when I mentioned it. "Kids get sick. Stop being paranoid." But I knew something was wrong. Mothers know. On December 17th, Owen woke up with a nosebleed that wouldn't stop for 20 minutes. I rushed him to the pediatrician. The doctor took one look at the bruises, the pallor, the persistent fever. She ordered a blood test, stat. 15 minutes later, she came back into the exam room. Her face told me everything. "We're calling Duke Children's Hospital Oncology. You need to take him there now." December 18th, 2017. 3:45 p.m. Duke Children's Hospital Emergency Department. "We need to admit your son immediately," the ER doctor said. "His white blood cell count is 185,000. Normal is under 11,000. We're calling oncology now." They admitted Owen to room 512. An IV port was placed in his small arm. My hands were shaking too hard to sign the consent forms. My mother arrived 30 minutes later. She sat beside me, calm and composed, while I fell apart. Dr. Patricia Whitmore, the pediatric oncologist, came in at 7 p.m. "I need to talk to you about acute lymphoblastic leukemia," she said. A LL, childhood leukemia, the most common cancer in kids. "Curable," Dr. Whitmore said, "with the right treatment. 85 to 90% survival rate with proper protocols." But Owen's case was aggressive. He would need chemotherapy immediately, and if the cancer didn't respond well enough, he would need a bone marrow transplant. "The good news," Dr. Whitmore said, "is that biological parents are usually the best match for bone marrow. We'll test family members first. Do you have contact information for Owen's father?" I opened my mouth. My mother cut me off. The father is unavailable. He's not in our lives. Is there another option? Dr. Whitmore frowned slightly. We can test extended family, but I have to be honest. Biological parents offer the best chance of a perfect match. We'll manage with what we have, my mother said firmly. I should have stopped her. I should have ripped that conversation away from her and said, "His name is Connor Sheffield. I can find him. Let me try." But I didn't. I sat there, silent, the way I'd sat there for 4 years. On December 22nd, they drew blood from me, my mother, and my sister Rachel for HLA typing, human leukocyte antigen testing. The lab tech explained they were looking for a 10 out of 10 match. The closer the match, the better the transplant outcome and the lower the risk of complications. The results came back on December 27th. I was a 4 out of 10 match. My mother was 3 out of 10. Rachel was 5 out of 10. None of us were suitable for transplant. Dr. Whitmore brought in Jennifer Torres, the hospital social worker, that same afternoon. "Ms. Parkinson," Jennifer said gently, "we need your permission to contact Owen's biological father for HLA testing. Do you have contact information for him?" I opened my mouth to say yes. My mother cut me off again. "The father is unavailable. He's not in our lives. Is there another option?" Jennifer looked at me. I looked at the floor. She slid a consent form across the table. Authorization to contact biological parent for HLA typing. 2 checkboxes. Approve or decline. A reason field. My mother reached for the pen before I could respond. "Mom, maybe we should—" I started. "Tegan, you're too emotional to think clearly. Trust me on this." She checked the decline box. She wrote in the reason field, "Father identity unknown/unavailable." She signed her name, Catherine Parkinson, legal guardian. Jennifer Torres frowned but accepted the form. Dr. Whitmore returned to the room 20 minutes later. "Okay," she said, "we'll start the National Registry search for an unrelated donor. It may take 2 to 3 months to find a match. In the meantime, we begin chemotherapy." I sat there in that hospital room, Owen asleep in the bed beside me, medicated and small, and I realized something. Owen's best chance had just walked out the door with my mother's signature, and I had let it happen. The next 3 months were hell. Chemotherapy, vincristine, doxorubicin, L-asparaginase. Owen lost his hair by February. He looked at himself in the mirror one day and said, "I look like an alien." I tried to smile. "You look like a superhero. Superheroes don't need hair." He spent 38 days in the hospital between January and March. He had mouth sores, nausea, he lost weight. His stuffed elephant, Peanut, went everywhere with him. In March, they found a donor. A 42-year-old woman in Oregon, an 8 out of 10 HLA match. "It's not perfect," Dr. Whitmore said, "but it's the best we have right now. The donor is willing. I recommend we proceed." "What if we wait for a better match?" I asked. "Owen's leukemia is aggressive. Waiting could be fatal." On March 28th, a bone marrow biopsy showed Owen was in remission. He was cleared for transplant. April 12th, 2018, Transplant Day. They brought the donor marrow in a cooler from Oregon. It looked like blood in an IV bag. The nurse hung it on Owen's IV pole. "The marrow is going in now," she said, pointing to the bag. "That's it?" I asked. "That's what's going to save him?" "That's it," she confirmed. "Now we wait and see if his body accepts it." Dr. Whitmore told us the next 100 days were critical. Infection, rejection, graft versus host disease. On day 28 post-transplant, Owen developed a rash on his chest and back, diarrhea, 8 to 10 times a day. His liver enzymes spiked. "This is graft versus host disease," Dr. Whitmore explained. "The donor cells see Owen's body as foreign and are attacking it. We need to start high-dose steroids immediately. They did a skin biopsy. It confirmed acute GVHD grade 2. I asked the question I'd been afraid to ask. Is this because the match wasn't perfect? Dr. Whitmore paused. Possibly. A 10 out of 10 match from a biological parent would have significantly reduced this risk. With an 8 out of 10 match, GVHD risk is 50 to 60%. With a perfect match, it's 15 to 20%. The words landed like stones. By September 2018, Owen's acute GVHD had transitioned to chronic. Dr. Whitmore sat me down in her office. "I'm sorry to tell you this," she said, "but Owen's GVHD has become chronic. He'll need immunosuppressive medications long-term, possibly for the rest of his life. Prednisone, tacrolimus, mycophenolate, monthly blood work, skin manifestations, photosensitivity. He couldn't go in the sun without SPF 50+, frequent infections because his immune system was compromised. I broke down crying in the hospital parking lot. I called my mother. At least he's alive, she said. That's all that matters. I thought, but what kind of life? For the next 8 years, Owen lived with the consequences of that 8 out of 10 match. $3,200 a month in medication costs after insurance, pharmacy pickups every 30 days, a 7-day pill organizer with AM and PM slots, blood work every 4 weeks to monitor drug levels. 1 month, the insurance denied coverage for the tacrolimus. The pharmacy tech said, "That'll be $1,850 out of pocket." I didn't have it. My mother paid. And she made sure I knew. "I paid your electric bill again," she said on the phone a week later. "You really should learn to manage money better. If you'd listened to me years ago, you wouldn't be in this mess." The medical bills piled up. Total costs since 2017, $890,000. Insurance had covered about $720,000. Patient responsibility, $170,000. I'd paid $81,000 so far. Outstanding balance, $89,420. I was on a monthly payment plan with Duke, $650 a month. Every month. Forever. My mother had paid $30,000 over the years. She called them loans. She reminded me constantly. And Owen. Owen couldn't do the things other kids did. No contact sports, no sleepovers, no swimming in public pools, no school cafeteria food. He missed an average of 25 school days a year due to infections. He sat on the bench during recess while other kids played soccer. He always carried hand sanitizer and wore a medical alert bracelet. One day, after a Duke follow-up appointment in January 2026, Owen asked me a question. If my real dad had been there, would I be normal now? I froze. Owen shook his head. Never mind. He didn't want me anyway. That was the moment I started to realize something, but I wasn't ready to face it yet. In mid-March 2026, the christening invitation arrived. Cream cardstock with an embossed cross. St. Margaret's Catholic Church, Cary. Sunday, March 22nd. 2 p.m., baby Grace. My niece, Rachel's daughter. Owen didn't want to go. Every family gathering, Grandma finds a way to remind everyone I don't have a dad. He said, "Why would a christening be different?" "Because it's your cousin's baby. We have to support Rachel." "No, Mom. You want to go because you're scared of Grandma. I'm going because I have to. But after today, I'm done with them. I don't care what you say." Sunday, March 22nd arrived. We drove to St. Margaret's in silence. The ceremony itself was fine. Father Michael O'Brien poured water over baby Grace's head. Rachel and her husband Tyler stood at the altar, smiling. My mother sat in the front row, wearing that old locket she always wore. Gold, oval-shaped, tarnished. I'd seen it my whole life. She never opened it. Owen stared at the locket during the entire ceremony. Stop staring, I whispered. I can't help it, he said. Why does she wear that thing everywhere? After the ceremony, we moved to the parish hall for the reception. 85 guests, sandwich platters, fruit, champagne for adults. My mother moved through the room like a politician, accepting congratulations as if the baby were hers. Owen sat alone at a corner table eating a sandwich. I helped Rachel with the baby. Everything seemed normal. Then my mother tapped her champagne glass. The room went quiet. I felt my stomach drop. To baby Grace, my mother began, raising her glass with a sweet smile. Thank God this baby has a real father. She paused. Let the words sink in. Then she turned. Looked straight at Owen. Not like that filthy little bastard you brought into this world, Tegan. Some children are born from nothing but shame and regret. The room went silent. A few guests let out nervous, uncomfortable laughs, the kind people make when they witness something shocking and don't know how to react. I stayed silent, the way I always did. But Owen stood up. He walked straight to my mother, grabbed the old locket from her neck. The tarnished chain snapped easily. It was old, weakened from years of wear. My mother was too shocked to stop him. Owen held the locket high. His hand was shaking, his voice was shaking, but he spoke clearly. Then why, he asked, have you been keeping my real father's photo hidden in here? He opened the locket. Inside was a photo of a young man in an EMT uniform. Smiling, the uncomfortable laughter stopped dead. My mother's face turned ghostly white. Give that back, she hissed. It's mine. Why do you keep his picture? Owen continued. If he's nobody? If he abandoned us? Why do you wear him around your neck every single day? My mother lunged for the locket. Owen stepped back. The photo slid out and fell to the floor. Owen picked it up, looked at it closely, then pulled out his phone. My mother slapped the locket out of his hand. It hit the floor with a metallic clang. Owen didn't cry. He turned and walked out of the parish hall. I followed him into the parking lot. He stood next to my car, clutching the photo, his entire body shaking. Not with tears, with rage. I'm finding him, Owen said. I don't care what she says. I don't care what you say. This is my dad, and I'm going to find out the truth. I looked at my son, 12 years old, skinny from medications, skin scarred from GVHD, but his eyes were clear, determined. And for the first time, I saw Connor in his face. Okay, I whispered. Let's find him. Owen pulled out his phone and photographed the picture from the locket. He opened Google on his phone and typed, EMT Uniform 2013. The first result made my blood run cold. Connor Sheffield, Seattle Fire Department, joins Engine 10. Owen showed me the screen. Mom, he said quietly. He's alive. He's in Seattle. My world cracked open. If you're watching this and you've ever been in a situation where you had to choose between keeping the peace and telling the truth, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. We share stories like this every week. Owen didn't tell me what he was planning. On Monday, March 23rd, he went to the Wake County Public Library after school instead of coming home. He used computer station number 8, logged in with his library card, and started researching. He told me all this later. At the time, I had no idea. He typed Connor Sheffield EMT Seattle into Google. 3 results came up immediately. The first was a news article from 2019. Seattle firefighter saves family from apartment blaze. There was a photo. The same face from the locket, just older. Lines around the eyes, hair graying slightly at the temples. Owen clicked through to the Seattle Fire Department website. Engine Company 10, Beacon Hill neighborhood. There he was, Connor Sheffield, age 36, 14 years of service. Then Owen found Connor's Facebook profile. Public posts only. Relationship status? Single. Owen scrolled through the posts. April 2023. 12 years with Seattle Fire today. Best job in the world. June 2024. Taught CPR to 50 high schoolers this week. Maybe one of them will save a life someday. December 2025. Quiet Christmas this year. Volunteering at station so the guys with families can be home. Owen noticed. Quiet Christmas. Guys with families. He's alone. Like me. He scrolled back to March 2013, around the time he was born. March 17th, 2013. New adventure begins. Seattle, here I come. Leaving some things behind, but moving forward. Owen sat at that library computer for 20 minutes, staring at those words. Then he created a new Facebook account. Fake name. Jake Thompson. Generic beach photo as the profile picture. Temporary email address. He couldn't just message Connor as Owen Parkinson. What if my mother was right? What if Connor really didn't want him? He needed to test the water first. For the next week, Owen practiced writing the message. 8 drafts. Deleting. Rewriting. Deleting again. On April 3rd, 2026, at 3:42 p.m., he sent it. From Jake Thompson to Connor Sheffield. Mr. Sheffield, my name is Owen Parkinson. I'm using my friend's account because I wasn't sure how to reach you. I'm 12 years old. I was born on August 18th, 2013 in Raleigh, North Carolina. My mom's name is Tegan Parkinson. I think you might be my father. I don't know if you knew about me. My grandmother says you didn't want me. But I found your picture in her locket. I don't understand what happened. If you don't want to respond, I understand. But I had to try. Owen. He hit send. Then he checked his phone every 10 minutes for the next 6 hours. At 9:58 p.m., his phone buzzed. Facebook notification. Connor Sheffield replied to your message. Owen's hands were shaking too hard to open it at first. Finally, he did. From Connor Sheffield to Jake Thompson. Sent. April 3rd, 2026, 9:56 p.m. Owen, I don't know what to say. I had no idea you existed. Your mom and I dated in 2012 to 2013. When I moved to Seattle, I tried to keep in contact. Someone called me, said they were Tegan's friend, and told me she'd had an abortion. I was devastated, but I respected what I thought was her choice. I stopped calling. I never knew she was pregnant. I never knew about you. Can you send me a picture? And can you ask your mom to call me? I need to understand what happened. This is my number. 206-555-0139. Connor. Owen read the message 3 times. Then he started crying. He ran to my bedroom at 10:15 p.m., burst in, showed me his phone. Mom, I found him. And he didn't know. Grandma lied to both of you. I read the message. My hands started shaking. I never knew you existed. 13 years. 13 years of believing Connor had abandoned us. I reached for my phone. April 5th, 2026. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. I called Connor for the first time in 13 years. Connor? My voice cracked. Silence. Then, Tegan? Is it really you? It's me. I don't understand. They told me you had an abortion. Who told you that? A woman. She said she was your friend. She said you terminated the pregnancy and moved on. I thought, God, Tegan, I thought you'd made that choice and I had to respect it. The pieces started falling into place. Connor, my mother, she hired someone to call you. She must have. She got your Seattle number from my phone bill. She told me you'd moved on, that you didn't want the baby. Connor's breath hitched. Jesus Christ. She stole 13 years from us. From Owen. From me. I should have fought harder, I whispered. I should have... No, Connor interrupted. You were 22 and isolated. She manipulated both of us. This isn't on you. I took a breath. Connor, there's something else you need to know. Owen. He's been sick. Sick? What do you mean sick? Leukemia, when he was 4 years old. December 2017, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. He needed a bone marrow transplant. Dead silence. Then, did they test me? No. Why the hell not? I'm his father. The hospital asked to contact you. My mother signed a form saying you were unavailable, that your identity was unknown. I heard Connor start to cry on the other end of the line. What were the complications? He asked. You said he's still sick. I explained GVHD, the chronic condition, the lifelong medications, the $3,200 a month, the infections, the limitations. Would my marrow have prevented that? Connor asked quietly. The doctor said a perfect match from a biological parent would reduce GVHD risk from 50% to 15%. Connor. Yes. You could have saved him from this. The line went silent for a long moment. Then Connor said, I'm coming there. Tomorrow. I'll take emergency leave. My captain will understand. Connor, you don't have to. Yes, I do. I have a son. A son who thinks I abandoned him. A son who nearly died because your mother played God. I'm coming. And I'm meeting Owen, and then... He paused. Then your mother and I are going to have a conversation. He booked a flight for April 8th. Alaska Airlines Flight 715, Seattle to Raleigh-Durham. 6 a.m. departure, 5:30 p.m. arrival with a layover in Denver. Before we hung up, Connor said, Tell Owen I'm coming. Tell him I've wanted to meet him since the second I found out he existed. And Tegan. Tell him I'm sorry I wasn't there. But I'm here now. I told Owen. He's coming here? To Raleigh? To meet me? Owen's voice was small. Yes. Friday. He'll land at 5:30. What if... Owen stopped. What if he doesn't like me? I pulled him close. Owen, he already likes you. He loves you. He just found out you exist. And the first thing he did was book a flight. April 8th, 2026. Friday, 5:30 p.m. RDU Airport Arrivals Terminal. Owen and I waited by the baggage claim. Owen's hand was sweating in mine. Mom, what if I don't know what to say? You won't have to say anything. Just be yourself. Passengers started emerging from the security area. Then I saw him. Tall. Dark hair graying at the temples. Empty duffel bag over his shoulder. Scanning the crowd. Connor Sheffield locked eyes with Owen. He walked over slowly, knelt down to Owen's level. Didn't touch him. Just looked. Hi, Owen, he said quietly. I'm Connor. I'm your dad. Owen's eyes filled with tears. You really didn't know about me? I really didn't. But I do now. And if you'll let me, I'd like to be part of your life. Owen asked, Can I hug you? Connor nodded, unable to speak. Owen stepped forward, hugged Connor. Connor wrapped his arms around his son for the first time. Both of them cried. I stood 5 feet away watching, and I cried too. We went to Starbucks near the airport, ordered drinks, sat for 2 hours. What's Seattle like? Owen asked. Rainy, Connor said with a smile. But beautiful. Lots of mountains. The water. You'd love it. Maybe I could visit sometime? Connor looked at me. I'd like that. I'd like that a lot. Owen showed Connor photos on his phone. School, friends, his room, photos from Duke Hospital. Connor showed Owen photos of Seattle, the fire station, his crew, Puget Sound. Then Connor noticed the scars on Owen's hands, the red dry patches, GVHD skin damage. Does it hurt? He asked gently. Owen nodded. Yeah, but I'm used to it. Connor's jaw tightened. Tell me everything about the cancer. I need to know what you went through, Owen explained. Surprisingly articulate for a 12-year-old. But he'd lived with this for 8 years. I was 4, Owen said. I don't remember a lot. But I remember being scared. They stuck needles in me every day. My mom slept in the hospital room with me for 3 months. He paused. They said they needed to test my dad for bone marrow. But Grandma said my dad was gone. So they used someone else's. It didn't match perfectly. That's why I have GVHD now. Owen pulled up a photo on his phone. His medication list. Connor asked, "What's GVHD feel like?" Owen explained. The sun sensitivity, the infections, the fatigue, the pills every single day. Connor listened intently, taking notes in his phone. Then he asked, "Did anyone ever tell you that I could have been tested?" Owen shook his head. "If I'd known, Owen, I would have given you my marrow without hesitation. Your grandmother made sure I didn't get that chance." On April 10th, Connor and I sat in his hotel room at the Hampton Inn in Raleigh. His laptop was open. "We need the records," Connor said. "From Duke. Everything from 2017, especially the consent forms about contacting me." "Why?" "Because what your mother did wasn't just cruel, it might have been medical neglect, and we need proof." I logged into the Duke Children's Hospital patient portal, submitted a medical records request. All records from December 2017 through April 2018, HLA typing results, consent forms, transplant documentation, correspondence with social work. On April 12th, the email arrived. "Your request has been processed. Please see attached PDF, 340 pages." Connor downloaded the file. We opened it together. We started reading. Silence. On page 87, we found it. Duke Children's Hospital. Consent for contact of biological parent for HLA typing. Patient: Owen Parkinson, DOB August 18, 2013. Legal guardian: Catherine Parkinson. Request: contact biological father Connor Sheffield for HLA compatibility testing. Guardian response: decline. Reason provided: father identity unknown/unavailable. Signature: Catherine Parkinson. Connor stared at the signature. "She knew my name," he said quietly. "She told them she didn't. She lied on a legal medical document while your son was dying." I turned to the page. The social worker's notes. Guardian declined despite stating father's name. Expressed concern that father contact would disrupt family. Proceeded with unrelated donor search per guardian directive. Then an email chain between Dr. Whitmore and Jennifer Torres. Dr. Whitmore: I strongly recommend biological father testing. Match probability significantly higher. Guardian is within legal rights to decline, but I want this documented. Connor's hands were shaking. "What can we do?" I asked. "We get DNA proof I'm Owen's father. Then we confront her with evidence she can't deny." April 13th, 2026. LabCorp on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. The lab tech swabbed the inside of Connor's cheek, then Owen's. "Results in 3 to 5 business days," she said. Connor looked at Owen. "This is just a formality. I already know you're mine." April 15th. 2:17 p.m. email notification. "Your DNA results are ready." Connor logged into the portal. Probability of paternity: 99.97%. Connor Sheffield is the biological father of Owen Parkinson. Connor took a screenshot, texted it to me. "We have everything we need. Time to face your mother." Easter Sunday, April 20th, 2026. My mother was hosting dinner at her house, colonial-style home in a gated community in North Raleigh. 4 bedrooms. Worth about $650,000. She'd invited 30 people, extended family, church friends, catered ham, formal dining. The day before, she'd called me. "You're coming tomorrow, I assume? The whole family will be here. It's Easter. We'll be there, I said. Good. And Tegan, I hope you've come to your senses about that man from Seattle. Don't bring him. This is family only. I didn't respond. On Easter Sunday at 2 p.m., Owen, Connor, and I arrived at my mother's house together. My mother opened the door. Her smile froze when she saw Connor behind me. What is he doing here? This is Connor Sheffield, I said clearly. Owen's father. He's joining us for dinner. Absolutely not. This is my home. I decide. Connor stepped forward. He was wearing his EMT dress uniform. Deliberate choice. Respectable. Authoritative. Mrs. Parkinson, we need to talk. All of us, as a family. My mother hissed. You have 5 minutes, then you leave. Connor smiled. I'll need more than 5 minutes, but thank you for your hospitality. He walked past her into the house. 30 people were already inside. The living room, the dining room, conversations and music. Connor asked loudly, Can I have everyone's attention? The room quieted. People turned. My name is Connor Sheffield. Most of you don't know me, but I'm Owen Parkinson's biological father. I found out Owen existed 2 weeks ago. Before today, I'd like to share some information that I think you all should see. He connected his laptop to my mother's TV using an HDMI cable. The screen lit up. First slide, DNA test results. 99.97% paternity. I am Owen's father, Connor said. That's not in dispute. What is in dispute is why nobody told me. He clicked to the next slide. Owen's medical record from Duke Children's Hospital, December 2017. This is Owen at 4 years old, diagnosed with leukemia. Click. This is the HLA typing results from his family. None of them were a suitable match for bone marrow transplant. Click. This is the form requesting permission to contact me, the biological father, for testing. Click. The consent form. Enlarged. Catherine Parkinson's signature clear at the bottom. And this is the signature of Catherine Parkinson, declining that contact. The reason given, father identity unknown. Connor looked directly at my mother. But you knew exactly who I was, didn't you? The room was absolutely silent. Someone gasped. My Uncle Phil said, Catherine, is this true? You knew about him. My mother's voice was shaking. You don't understand the full picture. Connor clicked to the next slide. Dr. Whitmore's emails. This is the oncologist strongly recommending biological father testing. You were warned. Click. Unrelated donor transplant results. GVHD diagnosis documentation. Click. Owen's current medication list. Costs. $3,200 per month. Click. Total medical bills. $890,000. Connor's voice was cold, controlled. I'm an EMT. I save lives every day, but I wasn't allowed to save my own son. My mother tried to defend herself. I did what I thought was best for Tegan and Owen. Connor had left. He'd moved across the country. He didn't care. I didn't know, Connor interrupted. You made sure I didn't know. You hired someone to call me and lie. You told Tegan I'd abandoned her. You manipulated both of us. My sister Rachel stood up. Everyone looked at her. Mom, I have to say something. I was there. In the hospital. In 2017. Rachel's voice broke. I watched Owen almost die. I saw how sick he was. And I asked you, Mom. I asked if we should try to find his father. You said no. You said it would be too disruptive. You said the transplant would work fine without him. Rachel looked at Connor. I'm sorry. I should have pushed harder. I should have found you myself. She started crying. Her husband Tyler put his arm around her. Uncle Phil said, Jesus, Catherine, what were you thinking? Aunt Lorraine turned to me. I had no idea. If we'd known, Father Michael O'Brien, the priest from St. Margaret's, was sitting in the corner. He looked deeply uncomfortable, a moral authority witnessing sin. My mother turned to Owen. I was protecting you. I was protecting all of us. Owen stood up, walked to her. The room held its breath. You didn't protect me, Owen said quietly. You almost killed me. The doctors told Mom that a match from my biological dad would have been better, that it would have stopped the GVHD. But you said no. You chose to let me get sicker because you didn't want to lose control. He held up his scarred hands. I have to take pills every day for the rest of my life. I can't play sports. I can't be in the sun. I get sick all the time, and you could have prevented it. You just had to make one phone call. My mother reached for Owen. Owen stepped back. Connor moved protectively behind him. Uncle Phil said, Catherine, you need to leave. This is Rachel's event and you've ruined it. My mother realized she'd lost the room, lost her family, lost her control. She made one last desperate move. If you pursue this legally, I'll fight you. I have rights as Owen's guardian all these years. Connor cut her off. I spoke to a medical malpractice attorney this week. What you did isn't criminal. You had legal authority as guardian, but it opens you to civil liability. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Fraud. Interference with parental rights I didn't know I had. He paused. The attorney said we could pursue damages for the difference in outcomes. The GVHD Owen wouldn't have if he'd had a perfect match. That's quantifiable medical harm. We could sue for $890,000 in medical costs, plus emotional damages, plus future care. Connor's voice was calm, final. But I'm not here for money. I'm here for my son. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to stay out of Owen's life unless he wants you in it. You're going to apologize, genuinely, for what you've done. And you're never going to claim credit for raising him when you nearly killed him. My mother collapsed into a chair, crying. No one comforted her. Uncle Phil said, You brought this on yourself, Catherine. Guests began leaving. The event was ruined, but the truth had been revealed. Owen turned to Connor. Can we go home now? Connor smiled. Yeah, son, let's go home. The days after Easter were strange, quiet. My phone buzzed constantly with texts from relatives. Some apologized. I had no idea, Tegan. If we'd known. Some distanced themselves. This is between you and your mother. We don't want to get involved. My sister Rachel called me a few days later. Mom tried to show up at church yesterday. Father Michael took her aside. People have been talking. 3 families have asked her to step down from the parish council. She's being shunned, Tegan. I felt a flicker of pity. Then I remembered Owen's scars. The pity faded. She made her choices. Now she lives with them. Uncle Phil sent my mother an email. He copied me on it. Catherine, after what came to light at Easter, I can no longer in good conscience support your financial requests. The Lake House timeshare partnership is dissolved. Please make other arrangements. Phil. My mother's social standing, the thing she'd cared about most, was destroyed. The church community she'd worked so hard to impress had rejected her. Poetic justice. A week after Easter, Rachel called again. Mom asked if she could see Owen, to apologize. What should I tell her? I said, Ask Owen. It's his choice now. Owen decided to meet her. Once, with conditions. May 1st, 2026. Panera Bread and Carry. Neutral location. Connor and I were there with Owen. My mother arrived looking smaller somehow. Defeated posture. She'd aged 10 years in 2 weeks. Owen's conditions were clear. No excuses. No, I was trying to protect you. Just truth. My mother sat across from him, tears in her eyes. I was wrong, she said quietly. I was selfish. I hurt you, and I'm sorry. It wasn't performative, it was real. Owen said, I don't forgive you yet. Maybe someday, but not now. My mother asked, Can I still be your grandmother? Owen looked at her. I already have a family now. You can be part of it if you earn it. But that's going to take time. My mother nodded, left quietly. After she was gone, Owen turned to Connor and me. I feel lighter. On April 22nd, Connor and I met with a family lawyer, Rebecca Hartman, Raleigh Family Law Associates. This isn't about taking Owen away from you, Connor told me in the lawyer's office. It's about establishing my legal rights as his father and making sure Catherine has no claim to guardianship. The attorney explained the process. Custody petition filed in Wake County Court. DNA evidence attached. Owen's input would be considered. At 12 years old, North Carolina courts take the child's preference into account. My mother wasn't fighting it. She had no legal ground. Her reputation was destroyed. This should be straightforward, the attorney said. I expect approval within 60 days. Connor looked at Owen. After that, you'll legally be my son on paper. You already are in every way that matters. Connor requested a transfer to Raleigh Fire Department. With 14 years of experience, he was a valuable hire. The transfer was approved for July 1, 2026. Seattle approved my transfer, Connor told Owen over video call in early May. I start with Raleigh Fire Department on July 1st. I'm moving home. Owen's face lit up. You mean you're staying? I'm staying. I've missed 13 years. I'm not missing anymore. Connor found a 2-bedroom apartment near mine. He moved his things from Seattle in late June. Owen helped him unpack. A bonding moment. Father and son building something new. On Connor's first day at Raleigh Fire Department Station 7, he brought Owen to the firehouse for a tour. The crew welcomed Owen as Sheffield's kid. Owen felt pride for the first time in his life. My dad's a firefighter. On June 15, 2026, we went to Wake County Courthouse for Owen's name change hearing. Judge Morton presided. I want to be Owen Sheffield Parkinson, Owen told the judge. Parkinson because that's who I've been, but Sheffield because that's who I really am. The judge approved the petition. A new birth certificate was issued. Father's name, Connor Sheffield. Owen held the new certificate in his hands, pointed to the father line. It's official now. Connor smiled. You've always been mine. Now the paper says so too. Connor's insurance through Seattle Fire Department, which continued when he transferred to Raleigh FD, covered Owen as his dependent. The first prescription pickup after the insurance kicked in, the pharmacy tech said, Your cost went from $3,200 to $85. I blinked. What? New insurance. Seattle Fire Department PPO. Much better coverage. For the first time in 8 years, I cried happy tears at a pharmacy. Owen asked me later, Does this mean we're not poor anymore? I laughed through tears. We're going to be okay, baby. We're finally going to be okay. Owen started therapy in May. Dr. Nina Torres, pediatric psychologist at Carolina Counseling Center in Raleigh. Owen has been through significant trauma, medical, emotional, familial, Dr. Torres explained to me. He's processing abandonment that wasn't real, shame that was imposed, and anger that's justified. This will take time. Owen attended weekly sessions. Connor came to some of them. Family therapy component. One of Owen's assignments. Write a letter to yourself at age 4 when you were diagnosed. What would you tell him? Owen wrote, Dear Owen, you are not alone. You were never alone. Your dad was out there, and he would have saved you if he'd known. You are wanted. You are loved. You are not shame. Dr. Torres showed me the letter. I cried reading it. Connor and Owen spent the summer of 2026 building their relationship. Fishing at Jordan Lake. Owen didn't catch anything, but he laughed more than I'd heard in years. Durham Bulls game. Minor league baseball. hot dogs and soda. Owen cheered until his voice was hoarse. Connor taught Owen basic car maintenance, how to check oil, change a tire. They cooked together. Connor's specialty: breakfast, pancakes and eggs, movie nights, popcorn and action films. Connor was gentle with Owen's limitations. No strenuous activity because of GVHD. Careful with sun exposure. But they found ways to bond that worked. The relationship was natural, not forced. In late July during dinner, Owen said casually, "Dad, can you pass the salt?" Connor froze. Emotional. It was the first time Owen had called him Dad instead of Connor. "Yeah, son, here you go." Both of them smiled. Connor and I took it slow. Coffee dates while Owen was at Rachel's house. Conversations about the past and the future. The old chemistry was still there. But we were different people now. 13 years apart had changed us both. "I don't want to complicate things," Connor said over coffee one day. "Owen comes first. But Tegan, I never stopped caring about you. 13 years, and I never stopped wondering what if." "I wondered too," I admitted. "So, what do we do now?" "We take it slow. We see what's still there. And we don't rush." In August, after dinner, we kissed for the first time in 13 years. We both laughed nervously afterward. "That felt like the first time," I said. "It kind of is. We're different people now." Different, but maybe better. August 18th, 2026. Owen's 13th birthday. We had a small party. Just Tegan, Connor, Rachel's family, and two of Owen's school friends. Chocolate cake with vanilla frosting. Gifts. Connor gave Owen a Seahawks jersey with Sheffield 13 on the back. I gave him a new gaming headset. Rachel gave him a gift card. Owen blew out 13 candles. Connor and I stood on either side of him. "What did you wish for?" Connor asked. Owen smiled. "I wished for this. For a long time. A dad who wanted me. A family that's real." Connor's voice cracked. "I always wanted you, Owen. I just didn't know you were here." "You're here now," Owen said. "That's what matters." I took a photo. Owen between Connor and me, all three of us smiling. Later that night, Owen looked at his new jersey, traced the name Sheffield with his finger. He thought about the locket that started everything. Catherine's lies that almost destroyed them. And the truth that finally set them free. Some families are built on lies, he thought. Ours was rebuilt on truth. And truth, painful as it was, finally set us free. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you. I know this story was hard to hear. It was harder to live. But I want you to take something away from this. If you're in a situation where someone is controlling your narrative, making you doubt yourself, or keeping you isolated from the truth, listen to that voice inside that says something is wrong. Don't silence it the way I did for 12 years. And if you're a parent fighting for your child, know this. You don't have to accept the story someone else wrote about your family. You can find the truth. You can set boundaries. You can rebuild. It won't be easy. Healing never is. But it's worth it. Owen is thriving now. He still has GVHD. He still takes pills every day. But he has a father who loves him. He has a future built on truth instead of shame. And me? I have my son back. Not the version my mother wanted him to be. The version he was always meant to be. Free. If this story resonated with you, please share it. Someone out there needs to hear it. And if you want more stories like this, stories of quiet strength, boundaries, and walking away on your own terms, subscribe to this channel. Drop a comment below and let me know. Have you ever had to choose between keeping the peace and telling the truth? I'd love to hear your story. Thank you for listening. And remember, the truth will set you free. But first, it will make you brave. I'm Tegan Parkinson, And this was my story.